Home sweet home, finally, here at home. After 10 days in the hospital, in Indianapolis, Redwood City, Walnut Creek. Well, it involved me flying on a private jet. It was an air ambulance from Indianapolis to San Francisco with my mother and 2 nurses. Boy, an air ambulance that I took, Kaiser paid for it. So that was really, what I had was very severe, and it could have been fatal. Really, I'm very fortunate to be home on the way to complete recovery. After I got tremendous support from the community, from everybody, it was amazing, all the support, and I wanted to share a little bit about what happened to me. I went to Indianapolis for the annual CEASD conference, and that conference is for school superintendents, principals, assistant superintendents, the various leaders, and they got together, and this year is an Indianapolis School for the Deaf. They hosted it. The attendance was great, and it was a wonderful conference as always. It was great. And I felt sick all of a sudden. Went up to my hotel room hopefully to recover, and I got worse and worse and worse progressively. And I decided then to take off, go home, go back to California, and see my doctor and see what was going on. Went to the airport, and at the airport, I didn't look good. They called an ambulance, and I thought, really? Okay. So I got in the ambulance and took off. And that's when I started to not remember what happened after that. At the ER, my temperature reached 104. I was very confused, and so I lost it. I blacked out until the next day. I found myself in the ICU, and I tried to figure out and realized what happened to me. Found out that I had a staph infection, and that staph infection is very common, and it can happen to anybody. It was very aggressive. That particular staph infection led me to have bacteria in my blood, and that bacteria caused some vegetation build up on my heart, the left valve in my heart. It grew there, and it caused what's called splinters throughout my body, throughout my bloodstream. One of these splinters traveled up into my brain and scratched my brain, causing some bleeding. And that affected my vision and my memory. That part of the brain got scratched. My heart infection itself didn't help much. Really, I had a very severe, dire situation, and the doctor immediately came to my help and filled me up with antibiotics. And really, it was a close call, just in the nick of time. Very strange, very unusual case. Brain bleeding and a heart infection at the same time. Why? Nobody really knows. The doctors took a look at me, and it happened, maybe 2 to 7 days before I went to Indianapolis. So I guess it's just a case of bad luck. Some people are wondering if my current illness is related to my GBS that I had 25 years ago. It's the Guillain-Barré syndrome that had caused my paralysis. And there is no relation, really. There are two totally, completely separate medical cases. It's just a case of bad luck on both instances. I am recovering, and I have what's called a PICC, P-I-C-C, in my arm here. And that travels right down into my heart. And I'm using a mini pump that I have to carry along with me for the next 24 hours for 6 weeks. And it looks like this. My thought process is it's clearing up. I'm remembering things better. 100%, not yet. It's going to take me the next 6 weeks to fully recover completely. I still am going on with my life, and really all of that is thanks to everybody's support, from family, my parents, Tom and Carol, my sister Nanette. The 3 of them came to Indianapolis by my side while I was in the hospital and supported me for the week. Thanks to you 3. Thanks to my brother Chet, his wife Heather, for all the support. I wanted to thank, too, my mother and father-in-law, Bob and Joan, for coming here to support my family while I was in Indianapolis. Most of all, I really wanted to thank my wife for being there with me through FaceTime, through video phones, through emails, all the support coming to the hospital when I finally got back here to the Bay Area. So I wanted to thank Anna so much. I also wanted to thank Amy Novotny for being there with me when I got to the hospital. Amy was in Indianapolis for the conference too. She immediately supported me and made sure everything was great before she went home. So thanks so much, Amy. Also wanted to thank John and Deb Shevland. Both of them had supported me too from the beginning of this incident, and they did a lot for me. So thank you so much to the 2 of you. Also wanted to thank Indianapolis deaf community for being there. They'd offer their support. I wanted to thank them. And I also wanted to thank CSD community too, my cabinet for the ongoing, for keeping things going and their full support. Also to Scott Kirby and Dr. Ellerby with the California Department of Education. Scott was in town for the conference as well, and he had stayed with me for the week before taking back off home for California, so thank you, Scott. And I wanted to thank Andy and Ben Olson, too, for offering interpreting services here, on demand here. So I needed it, and they immediately made themselves available. So thank you so much, Andy and Ben. And really, this kind of support was amazing and is amazing. I really want to thank and I appreciate also my Instagram friends, my wife's Facebook friends. It's amazing, just the level of support there. So thank you, everybody. With all of the support, including Sorensen, Convo. Sorensen sent me a basket of flowers, and Convo checked on me and gave me support. So thanks, both Sorensen and Convo. Really, there's just a whole list of more people that I could have named. With all of the support that I received from everybody, I am recovering, and I am home, and I look forward to a complete recovery the next 6 weeks. Again, thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you sometime soon. Take care.